What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. I am so behind, and I'm sorry, but I'm catching up. This is Chasing Atlanta. What are we on, season 5, episode 8? So I'm sorry, but let's get this party started. We start this episode off. We have the Aaron Thomas experience, right? Aaron Thomas is in the process of rebranding, getting himself back out there. He's got his management team, and so he put together an event where it was like a press event. People could come, get to meet him. He had a sit down Q&A situation, and then of course he had to perform. It would look like it was a really nice event. It was very, remember Rico with the K did something like this earlier in the season. I thought it was a good event, and it looked like he had a nice little mixture of people there. We had Rico Cassadine in the house. We had Rico with the K. We had Dominique with his man. And so, of course, there was the tension with Rico Cassadine and Dominique man. Now, the good news is that neither one approached the other one. They just kind of looked at each other from across the room. And basically, both of them were saying the same thing. Where's that energy? Like, where the energy you had? Or where the energy you had? But as long as they kept their energy on opposite sides of the room, they respected Aaron's event. And I respected them for respecting it. Okay? Now, Rico with the K, I love Rico with the K. Do you know what I mean when I say I love Rico with the K? Because Rico with the K said, listen, I see Cassadine over there, and word on the curb is that Cassadine got a problem with me. He feel like I hit him in the midst of the melee before the mace, but after the punch, and he feels like I punched him, and he feels like I was kind of like creating a jumping type situation. And so I'm the kind of person, I don't want no problems. When I see you, I'm gonna address it so we can get it taken care of. We could address it. He said, and at the end of the day, he said he might feel some kind of way, but at the end of the day, he's still going, I'm here you go. I mean, he blocked me and everything, but it don't matter, because we're going to talk about it, we're going to work it out, and you still going to be my man. I don't care how you feel. And I can respect that. Like, Rico with the K is that guy that every friend clique needs, because he's the person that is not going to allow things to fester and evolve. He's not going to choose sides. He's going to try to be neutral. He's going to try to be the mediator. And I just feel like every friend group needs that. Sometimes that person gets beat up because we want somebody to choose a side, and we want somebody to take our side. But I can respect the fact that he's been pretty consistent with saying, listen, I'm not choosing sides. Like, you remember that conversation him and Oliver had at the beginning of the season, where it was sort of like, Oliver felt like he chose a side, and he was like, but I didn't. Anyway, I thought it was cool. So they talked and they laughed about it and they moved on. Cass and I said him and Rico with the K are cool. So that was great. All right, so then we get to our next scene, which we have Jaya Moore meeting up with Cardi Monroe and Rico with a K. Remember, Cardi Monroe is his creative director, because he said he's got some things coming up, some performances and things of that nature, and he wants Jaya Moore to do the styling for him and put some outfits together for him. And so they were talking about that. And then Troy, and I'm sure they were recapping other stuff. Let me tell you what I'm not interested in. And this is what happens when you had the after shows and people be spilling tea. I am no longer interested in the whole beef between him and Cameron, because, sir, after you done dropped the tea that you and Cameron had a whole sexual situation going on, I really don't care about nothing else you have to say about Cameron, because basically you proved Cameron right. You proved him to be telling the truth and not to be a liar. So, honestly, I don't really care about nothing else you got to say. I don't. So then, moving on. So then we have, Troy shows up. And again, Troy shows up, and listen, Troy was throwing shade at Aaron Thomas for some reason. Like, I don't know why. He was talking about, well, he changed his name, and I heard he changed his name. He was on all these other shows, but then he changed his name after he came out, LGBT, whatever. And I'm like, well, what you mad for? Like, why that man can't change his name? Maybe he's changing his name because, one, maybe he doesn't want the old person to be associated with the new person he's evolved into. Maybe he changed his name because there's some stuff with that old name legally, because he was on a lot of shows. He was on Sunday's Best. Maybe there was something in the contract clause with Sunday's Best that he can't be LGBTQ. It is a religious show. Like, I don't know, but why is that an issue? Like, I don't. Sure, you making problems where they don't need to be problems. Like you did it here. You doing it again at the end of the episode, which we're gonna get to that. But there's no need for you to make problems where problems don't exist. Moving on. Anyway, um, so then we find out that there's a cabin trip. Now, y'all know on all these reality shows we do a trip. So this trip is the cabin trip. They're going to Tennessee. They're staying in a nice cabin up in the woods. I guess Troy is the host, but everybody's coming, and of course Jay Moore throwing shade at Cameron. Well, where's Cameron going to sleep? Where's he going to sleep? I mean, he gonna sleep in the house with you. He gonna sleep the same place he been sleeping with you. Anyway, then we're gonna have a bachelor party for Dominique, because Dominique is Troy gonna say, well, Dominique is getting married in October or whenever. Well, is he getting married in October or not? But anyway, so we're gonna have a little bachelor party, excuse me, for Dominique. So that's cool. So that's what happened with that. So then we see Dominique talking to his man, and come to find out, listen, Dominique and his man are on shaky ground, right? Things are not looking too good. Yeah, there was a proposal, there was an acceptance, but things ain't looking too good for this October wedding, and that's probably why Troy was like, or whenever, cause we don't know when it's gonna happen. And now it makes sense why Dominique was a little sensitive earlier this year when Wayne the Pain asked him where his ring was, because come to find out he had to downsize his ring, and so did his boyfriend, so that they could get the money to bury I believe it was his father. And it ain't no shame in that. Like, shit happens, life happens, life comes at us fast sometimes, okay? Listen, you ain't the first person to have a fish fry down to the church to raise money for the funeral. You ain't the first person. But now I understand why he was a little touchy about it. Because remember, I was like, why does it matter if the man asks you about your ring? You engaged. People expect to see a ring when you get engaged. Like, I don't understand. But now we do. You was a little touchy. And you're also a little touchy about where y'all are as a couple, because things are not good. Now you keep saying that things are shaky and y'all not on the same page, but every time we see y'all seem to be getting along. So what's going on? Are y'all fighting when the cameras aren't rolling? Has there been some infidelity? Is there some trust issues? And I mean, you don't have to tell us your business, but you on a reality show, so we want to know your business. I mean, when you just say we on shaky ground, but every time we see y'all smiling and it's Buddhist and I love you and bay that. I need to know what the shaky ground is. What is the problem? What is the shaky ground? What does that look like? I need to know. But anyway, so that's what we have going on with that. So then we have he is doing a, did I miss something? Hold on. Okay, no, I didn't. So then we have Dominique is having a soft launch for his pet scent. I'm not really sure what a pet scent is. Is it perfume for dogs? Is it like Bath and Body? You know how like back in the day, everybody used to wear the little body spray from Bath and Body Wash. Like you got off the shop, like you bought the lotion, you bought the body, the soap, and then you had the body spray. You had like the cucumber melon, you had the cherry blossom, you had the vanilla brown sugar. I had those. I'm not clowning because I used to wear it. But you would go to Bath and Body Works when they would get when you'd have the 3 for $20 sale or whatever. So you would get the soap, you know, you would get the body spray, and you would get the lotion, so you would just smell like cucumber melon for 20 minutes, because that's about how long the shit lasted. It was 20 minutes, but neither here nor there. Is that what it is? Like a body spray, like you would put on your pet after you get a pet a bath? Because I'm a little concerned. I'm not really clear, I don't think, on that. But neither here nor there. He is having a soft launch, excuse me. So he is inviting everybody who has a pet. And he invites Oliver. And Oliver is so excited that Dominique is actually inviting him to something. Because, you know, him and Dominique don't really be seeing it for each other like that. So he is excited and happy that he got the invite from Dominique. And so of course, we're at the table and we gotta have some conversations. So at the table, Willa tells us that's what's been going on with her. Unfortunately, Willa is having some home some issues with a place to live. She said that her lease ran out of her last apartment. She thought she had another apartment, but then she got turned down for the other apartment, which I'm a little concerned about. Did you think you got approved and then they changed their mind? Did you get like a pre-approval, but then once they ran your credit? Because this is, she said this. I'm not saying that she said her credit bad, okay? That's not a read. She said it, okay? But did they approve you and then they ran your credit and they said, oh no, we can't do this because your credit is bad? Or I'm just trying to understand. I'm a little confused. But neither here nor there. Unfortunately, she said that right now she's living from pillar to post. She's sleeping on couches. She's staying at hotels. She said sometimes she's even in her car. So I hope that worked out. You know, listen, life happens sometimes and life happens fast. So, I mean, I hope she works it out. But she was very candid in that moment. Oliver let everybody know that he is single, that him and old boy decided to call it quits for real, for real. Even though they was on the after show live a few weeks ago together, but that don't mean they back together. Maybe they just friends. They friends. But neither here nor there. You know, a breakup is never easy, no matter how the situation happens. So, you know, he was very vulnerable and he had a little moment. Voice was shaking a little bit. He got a little cry, a little teary eyed, you know, a little bit. Troy has moved out into his own apartment. He said that by being an only child, he's always felt nervous or scared to go out on his own. But he did go out and get his own apartment. So good for him. Good for him. Somehow another child, they started talking about, they wanted to get onto the whole conversation about Rico Cassadine and, you know, all of that. And shouts out to you, Oliver, because Oliver was like, don't do that. That's my friend. Like, Oliver is my friend. Don't do that. Like, And so they started going back and forth about Rico this and Rico that. But then Troy said, listen, we ain't doing that. We're going to end it right here because I need to tell y'all about the cabin. So he lets everybody know that they're going to the cabin and they're going to be staying at the cabin in the woods. I guess they're going to be doing some team building situations, child. I guess that's what they're going to be doing down to the cabin in the woods. Then we have this final scene where we have, wait a minute, hold on. Drew, recap, relationship. Oh no, Drew, my bad. Drew was telling them, that's how they got on the Rico thing. Because Drew was there. Drew was telling them about what happened the week before where Rico and, Ike's, socks, and, I said Ike's socks. I was going to say, don't forget to go order you some socks from Ike, but Ike, not his socks, but the week before where Rico, listen, let me tell y'all something. I don't care anymore. I don't care who said what about Dominique and his boyfriend. I don't care if Rico said he had all the smoke for him. I don't care if Rico said that he slept with the man. I don't care if they lied on Rico. I don't care who had the text messages and who didn't have the text messages. Jay Moore said he had the text messages. Somebody else said they had the text messages. I don't care. It's been way too many conversations about this whole situation at this point. I don't care. Because even though I'm glad that there was no beef at the Aaron Thomas experience, that was the time to clear the situation up. Y'all could have went outside just like Rico Cassadine did with Rico with the K. Y'all could have went outside. Hell, you could have had Rico with the K mediate, and y'all, the four y'all could have went outside and cleared the air. But y'all didn't. So at this point, I really don't care no more. I don't give a damn. I don't care. Moving on. So then we had this final scene where we have Lil Kendra, Oliver, and Troy. They go to play Top Golf, and they look like they were having a good time. They did. Now they're a little worried about Lil Kendra, because Lil Kendra said that her relationship broke up. They've been together, I think she said 4 years. And then, of course, she's still dealing with everything with her grandmother. And Oliver was a little worried because he said she was drinking. He said she came with alcohol. She got drunk while they were there. And he was worried about her because he felt like maybe she's drowning her sorrows and using alcohol as a crutch. So they asked her if she's been to therapy, if she plans to go to therapy, if she wants to go to therapy. And her answer was a little crazy to me a little bit. Because the answer was kind of like, well, I mean, I know I should, but I'm not, but I should, but maybe I will. I don't know if that was the alcohol where she couldn't form a final thought, or she was hemming and hawing and wasn't sure. I will say this, I think this might be the first time we've seen Lil Kendra without Wayne. I am surprised Wayne was not there. Anyway, let me put a pin in that real quick. Rico did take Wayne down to one of his old spots where he used to do drag, and he was talking to Wayne about him doing drag and why he decided to do drag. And he said, it was a way for him to get to know who he was. He was bullied and picked on because of his weight, and it gave him a place to be. It gave him a level of confidence. And it was something in the moment, that he enjoyed doing. So he took Wayne down there. Now, why he chose Wayne, I don't know. I guess. I guess. Wayne was like, okay. Yeah. Alright. Like, I feel like Wayne was like, wow, okay. But alright, you got the info. So back to Top Golf. So then at a certain point, they played golf. They were having a good time. And they were talking about how good it felt. The three of them, they OGs. They came in on the same season. They've been through some stuff. And it was good for them to be able to sit down and talk and had a conversation with each other. And they were happy about it, right? Why Troy had to mess it up? So Troy starts bringing up to Oliver about the night of the fight. And he is accusing Oliver, first of all, he said, well, people want to know. First of all, don't come to me with that people want to know shit. I hate that. People want to know or you want to know. Because if people want to know, then the people can call me. But if you want to know, then what is it that you want to know? That's number one. Number two, you are coming at Oliver about him knowing Rico had mace. And so, Troy, first of all, what made you think that Oliver knew that Rico had mace? Do you know that I dated a guy? We were dating for months. And when I say months, I mean months. Like, we probably were dating for about 6 or 7 months before I knew that mofo carried a gun. I didn't know he carried a gun until one night there was a situation and there was about to be a fight. And he damn near pulled it out. And then we had to have a nice long conversation that night. Okay? Woo, we had to have a conversation that night. Okay? But what makes you think? Why would Oliver know whether Rico had mace or not? And even if Oliver did know that Rico had mace, what did y'all think? What did you really think Oliver could do in that moment? As mad as Rico was, as fired up as Rico was, what do you really think that Oliver could have done to stop it? Like, I'm not understanding where this whole conversation was going. And it ended up pissing Oliver off because Oliver was like, what is this about? Like, I don't understand. What are you talking about? Now, Oliver didn't get loud. Oliver didn't raise his voice. But Troy got upset and Troy got mad and Troy was like, I'm not doing this. Why are we doing this? Why? This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. What you embarrassed about? Because you're the one that's being loud. And you brought up something stupid. There was no good reason in the world for you to bring that up because it has nothing to do with nothing. Again, I don't care how good of a friend Oliver is to Rico. Rico is a grown-ass man. And just like Oliver said, Oliver was like, I got mace too. So even if I knew he had the mace, sir, I got mace just like everybody else. Did y'all not see Oliver's ass get pushed and rolled around on that damn ground during that fight? Oliver fell 2-3 times trying to break that fight up. And he got mace. Hell, and Dario got maced. Like, what is wrong with y'all? I didn't understand the whole purpose of even bringing that up, Troy. Because I guess he was trying to say, we don't want no mess at the cabin. We don't want no mess at the cabin. But again, the person you need to be having that conversation with is Rico Cassadine. Because Oliver can't stop Rico from doing shit. The fuck? Anyway, that's where the episode ended. It looks like we pick up part 2. Because at the end of the episode, it looked like Troy walked away. But then in the previews for next week, it looked like he must have came back. And we get part 2. And Troy crying again. Troy, I understand how the hell you the biggest, you the bad, you the biggest and the baddest. And every time you get into something, you crying. Bye.